All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Man Authentic Conversation. And we're still on Superheroes, Part 3, with myself, Cedric Anderson, the wonderful Ron Serven, and we have Miss Karen.
Woohoo!
All right. Welcome back, guys. Again, we thank you guys for joining us. Hey, but we don't want to take too much of your time, so we're just going to jump right on in. And hey, here we go. Part 3, guys. Y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. You know what, Sid? I'm going to ask Ron because I'm dying to know. We all have a superpower. We've talked about ours. What do you got? What's yours?
All right.
I think when I really connect with my heart, which I try to do more than not, I think my compassion just definitely comes to the forefront for me. I'm that guy that will sit and watch, something on TV and just the simplest heartfelt thing that I sense in others. I definitely feel that connectiveness with my heart. So I think in my life, kind of seeing and experiencing that in myself and my ability to recognize that in others, just what potential they have within themselves that they aren't tapping into, not to feel or think that they can't do something, but just they are not aware of it, and just having that compassion to help them identify that, and my kind of desire to see that smile on their face, or for them to experience that sense of joy, even if it's a simple smile. I mean, I shared with Cedric a few weeks back an experience at the gym where I was up on the treadmill, kind of riding, using the treadmill, and I looked over and saw this the guy that works there, that cleans all the machines. Here are all these people coming in sweating and dirty, or however they go through their activity on all the different equipment in the gym. And here's a guy that spends his time making my experience of kind of having a disinfected piece of machinery to do my own workout on. What gratitude is he getting for what he does? So I stopped and introduced myself to him and thanked him for what he did for me and others, just kind of allowing him to feel that sense of, that he has a role that he plays in his life. Mm-hmm. And since then, and the day that I did that, just the amazing smile that came across his face. Mm-hmm. And then every time I've seen him since, he sees me, he smiles, we connect with each other, and just knowing that just me making him visible and just him tapping into kind of him having value in his life for others. Mm-hmm. It just, so that, that kind of, connects me, that story connects me to just how my life is. And just, even watching the Olympics, just things that were just simple experiences of accomplishment and perseverance. I'm that guy that gets that tear in my eye and experiences that sense of compassion and joy and all those feelings, especially as men who are taught, what are you doing? What are you crying for? You're supposed to tough it up, be a man,
Right.
Pussy. What's this all about?
Yeah. Totally.
And I think that's, for me, just something that I feel is in all of us, but I think exemplifies more of, kind of the powers that I feel that I possess, that I try to share.
I love compassion as a superpower. That is incredible. I love this. Okay, so have you always had that superpower and known it? Has it been forever, or did it develop over the course of your life?
I would say it's definitely developed. I lived a lot of years of my life just playing small in my life, kind of not tapping into all areas of who I am. So I believe it was always there, but I think I was always reluctant to kind of put it out there because of fear of acceptance and fear of judgment and fear of, what type of reaction I might get from it, from myself even, kind of how I might view it. So I think as I've been willing to put myself out there in a lot of different ways, and being willing to let go of the results and not have expectations of the things that I'm doing in my life. It's freed me to feel that compassion more and more, and recognizing that that's, again, not something that as a man I was taught by my father. My father didn't tell me to, show your feelings, all these things that we feel are unmanly or not, kind of consistent with what society looks at how men should be. So it's definitely been an evolution for me. It's definitely not something I've been able to or willing to or connected to for my whole life. It's definitely been probably in the past 10 years.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. When did you kind of put on the cape of compassion and say, yeah, this is mine, I got this, and this is powerful stuff?
It was my journey within. So I went through a workshop maybe, probably 7 or 8 years ago. Did a lot of hard work on myself, just a lot of areas that I didn't realize I was stuck in my life, and really kind of owned my part of that journey, and holding on to things that no longer serve me, and just kind of stepping out from that and believing in myself, and disconnecting with all of the external things that that growing up seemed to be the right things to put value on, going on, having all these material things in life, and having a good, nice house, and all these things that were very present in my life, but not that connection with the family, not that connection with myself, just more of playing small. I mean, just playing it safe to where I wasn't exposed and didn't have to deal with potential judgments and failures and things that kind of were present more so in my earlier childhood.
So kryptonite then, Ced talked about his fear. And what do you got? What is that limiting factor that says, nope, we're going to keep you in your glasses and your tie and not let you change the world? What is that thing in your head that comes after you?
I would say my head is my kryptonite.
Yes.
Right.
So, I've spoke about this before, about how close the head is to the heart, and yet so much of my struggles have been just being stuck in my head and not realizing the importance of my heart, and running the things that I do in my life through my heart. So, and I think it even evolved into headaches and pressure within the head, to where it was just not that separation of what the heart provides me, not just obviously pumping blood through all the vital organs in my body, but a place that has a beautiful space to allow me to be me. Versus my head telling me, some of the limiting beliefs that I was probably told, all these thoughts that weren't mine, but, that I connected to because the people that were telling me those thoughts were people that I felt had value or do have value in my life, that were giving me maybe the misguided direction that I didn't need, versus maybe more of the mindful, kind of encouragement on how to be more mindful and how to be more present, how to be more, kind of willing to accept all parts of myself.
We're so lucky to be living in the time that we live, that we're all cultivating that right now, where we're cultivating that place inside you that's special, and being able to not have to listen to those limiting beliefs and dive down deep into what's inside all of us. I have a question for both of you. How do you think the pressure to be a superhero is different for men and women? Do you guys feel sort of a sense of pressure to be like the man?
Hell yeah. I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get a double whammy because I'm a Marine, and you're totally bred to think from a totally different perspective from most other civilians, and then you add that male ego, and we had one on this, way earlier, that male ego. And Ron was talking about it, where no, that was a sign of weakness so for men. So it's like, hell no, you do not show your sign. Don't cry. Like, don't you cry. And for me, for you, Marines don't cry. We don't show our emotions. Suck it up, buttercup. That type of deal. And some of the programming comes along with that, because I know for me, if I'm to be honest, you're kind of brought up sexist, if you will, because it's like, oh, women, and there it is, that male thing. Oh, women are the emotional kind, and you say, woman, it's okay. That's what women do. But so it stops the superhero from coming out, and it makes you play small and in little tiny ways, and then it just kind of all balls up and just causes stress and just that venom comes in. It's not good.
Ron, do you feel that sort of pressure to sort of be the man, the I mean, I as a woman, I feel a sense of compassion for the pressures that men must feel to be strong and capable and the provider and this and that. I mean, that's some big stuff. Do you guys feel?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
sure.
There you
go. For me, I think for me more so around being a superhero for my son, not so much around for being a superhero amongst men. I feel like I've, done a lot in my life, my career, and kind of being that rock, that person that's, kind of able to, persevere and be, kind of steady and passionate and committed to areas of my life. So I don't really feel like I need to prove, kind of my value amongst, I guess, my everyday life, people that are in my life, but more around just my son, just trying to really be the best possible role model, the best possible father, the best possible, example for him in my life, to where, not that I need him to look at me as a superhero, but just to me being the best possible, person that's giving him the best guidance. Although it doesn't sometimes feel like guidance for him, it feels like I'm telling him what to do, or, kind of just being, oh, that's my dad, just, kind of going off the deep end about something, versus just that life lesson that I'm trying to instill in him, not knowing, how that may, at what point of his life he's going to connect with that and feel, like that's really something that he learned from his dad. And because of that, he is able to take that to the next level when he becomes, of age and decides to have children and becomes a father himself.
Because I'm kind of curious, man. Like, so I'm sure, you have many other I know you have other superpowers too. So if you had one that you had to leave Anthony, or the main one you would want to teach him, which one would it be? And probably why?
What superpower would I pass on? That's a great question. Just being real, just, being willing to not feel that he can't be himself and not feel fully accepted. Just, knowing that we're human beings that have faults, knowing that we're, human beings that make mistakes. Just allowing him to feel still whole and real in those moments, that he doesn't struggle with, kind of his own internal, because he's very hard on himself. He's very, kind of wants to do everything right for himself and for us, as being responsible at his age. But that can be very tricky, right? Because that pressure can build, whether it's expectations from us or expectations from society So I think just for me, if I can give him the ability to just be his authentic, real self, and to, laugh at himself, and to, kind of let other people's opinions not create a lot of pressure on him to feel accepted. Because I went through that, Cedric. I've shared with you just kind of that experience of getting a call from that experience of not being accepted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, I was a little AWOL there. So I wanted to ask you, Ron, a couple of questions. First one being, we talked about our superheroes, the ones that we connect with. It's your turn. What superhero do you connect with, and why?
Interesting question. I was, as you guys were going through your amazing connections to your superheroes, I was in Smallville. I was kind of playing small and kind of thinking small as far as what might be safe. Maybe a superhero that I connected with really wasn't in my true nature. So when I kind of look deeper, what resonated with me and who I kind of feel connected to is Superman.
Of course.
Nice.
I know there's an S underneath there somewhere. If you rip that shirt open, the
last name's Serven, so it's not the S.
I love it.
Superman, yeah.
Fantastic.
So yeah, just feeling like I have those superpowers for sure.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about really why Superman is your dude. Like, what about him is amazing, and what about him makes you go, "Yep, that's me"?
So it's kind of two sides of the coin. One side being that, mild manner, kind of, behind the scenes, kind of doing what I need to do, and kind of being a little bit under the radar, and then tapping into that higher version of myself, and really, kind of like Superman, being able to use my X-ray vision to see people's hearts, and to really, have that connection with who they are in their essence. So feeling physically, kind of in the best place in my life, physically and mentally. So connecting with kind of that physique, I guess, to a certain extent of, that Superman. I guess sometimes feeling like I can fly. I mean, I think flying in respect to just kind of not feeling so, connected to the ground, just kind of feeling that ability to kind of be free spirited and not feel, kind of like I'm bound to this earth, and I'm more connected to the universe. But on the other side of the coin, when I talk about Smallville, kind of that part of me that sometimes can play that small role, and my willingness to, kind of step up and be more super in my life versus, and that's more around, people that I maybe am closer to, a little bit unwillingness to share all of me and all of my superpowers in situations that may not be, or the result may not be what I'm looking for. So I may be that Superman in other situations where the investment of myself might be more likely to be exactly what I would needed it to be versus, maybe in closer relationships where I'm a little bit more, I guess, unwilling or reluctant to put myself out there.
Have you always been like that?
No, I think I think it really started with me finding my meditation practice 7+ years ago, and really looking inward and not so much all of this data that we experience externally. So, really understanding, more about myself and the struggles that I've been through, and really tapping into my heart. I think that's when I realized that there's so much more to me than, the experiences that I've had or the material things that I possess. So to answer your question, it's been an evolution over the past 7 years to really, really dig deep and to be honest with myself, and to allow myself to, fully open to this beautiful flower that I am.
Oh, of course. And the cape and everything else. There's a cape there too, for sure.
There's a cape, but I guess I need to be mindful of that. I don't always have to have my cape on to be super. I mean, I think, be extraordinary in all aspects of my life, and accept that as being, equally as important in my life on a regular basis.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that a little while ago, about being ordinary extraordinary. It doesn't take the cape. It doesn't take. It's so simple to be extraordinary. And I can tell you, like, just from getting to know you guys, you really are superheroes in that right. Just extraordinarily ordinary, amazing human beings that we can connect to. And that's what connected me to you in watching us grow as coaches and go through the process of becoming coaches. I was like, these guys are super. And it's that extraordinary that you emulate, that you show, that's just incredibly ordinary and relatable. And that is a superpower. And that is what a real, true superhero is. So I'm incredibly grateful for the experience of getting to know you guys and having you in my circle of superheroes that I can draw upon when I need to. And your clients that are coming your way and the people that get to see these podcasts and hear you are equally as lucky to be in your circle of good things. So thank you for sharing your superpowers with me. And thank you for this amazing conversation. It's been such a great journey on this podcast.
Yeah. And I'll chime in and I'll give Cedric I know he's got lots to share with us. But I think for me, Karen, I think just, recognizing and seeing your post and really kind of being a cheerleader for us on the sidelines has been huge. But I think having you here present with us tonight and to see even a deeper version of what you bring to not only the podcast, but just us as men, because I think, we can do our best to kind of really push each other and really kind of grow in all different directions of our life. I'm a father. He's going to be a father. You're a mother. So I think your involvement has really inspired me to kind of look at other angles from a female perspective. And I think that's the beauty of, what we've been able to bring to us. And I truly appreciate your willingness to be here with us. And I think this is definitely not going to be the last time for this to happen. But I'm
in. This girl is in.
Well, I think you're fully in. It's not just you showing up, just kind of being here, kind of, hey, this is kind of cool. It's more like you're participating, you're putting just some great value on what we have to deliver here. So thank you so much.
Awesome. You guys are, we're all trying to get out of our brains and work with our hearts. I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. And I'm just so grateful. And again, thank you so much for coming on and joining us. I know having you, that energy, it's kind of weird. I almost feel that same energy I felt when me and Ron were on our very first, what did you call it? Skills lab call. It's like, all right, man, this is like sis right here. So I like the energy and I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Just allowing us to experience you and what you bring. So, man.
It's that Wonder Twin Powers thing we got going on. There's this this incredible synergy, and that comes from this big old heart, and we've got to share it with all the people. And I can't wait to share your energy with the people who are on my Facebook page and my clients, because I have some people that will be watching that I'm sure could use amazing coaches in their corner, some men that could really use a man that's got some incredibly intense heart superpowers.
Yeah,
and we're all that is man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just closing for me, I think, those that are listening in, I think, me and Cedric have always kind of used this platform as a friendship, a way for us to grow our relationship, to kind of, be able to, from afar, be able to connect on a weekly basis and share who we are as men, which men don't typically do. So obviously men out there, hopefully this is something that even adds more value, having an amazing woman to join us, but also you women listening in. I mean, I think this is an opportunity for you to, kind of ask those questions of yourself, and by all means, as we've always done, if you have any comments or ideas or things that might resonate with you, feel free to drop those into the comment box to where we can really look into adding value on a regular basis to what we put out there.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for everybody listening. Ced, I always try to leave it at the end for you because you put out these beautiful words at the end. So I'm going to leave that for you.
Man, I'm just sitting here and I'm just thinking, man, there's a lot of different things, but the one thing that just keeps crossing my mind is, man, for everybody listening, I'm just thinking about the reason we do this is most times for me, everything that I'm putting out there is usually something I've either told myself or I'm telling myself after the fact. Yeah. And I'm just thinking about this. Portions of it was stuff that, oh, okay, hey, this is what I recognize in the moment. And others, it's stuff I've already realized. But guys, the bad things, that's what gives us. I was thinking, I think I said earlier, where Clark Kent was in Smallville and he lost his friendship with Lex Luthor, and Batman was put in a hole with the bats, and Wonder Woman had to go through all this stuff in Paris, but that just built their character. So my appeal to you would be to, when you feel these emotions or think these thoughts that kind of stop you in your tracks and paralyze you, that's the time to tap into your superpower. Or that's the kryptonite that's there just trying to weaken you, and maybe you just need to take a different route. So, man, just latch on and step through and move on to your metropolis, move on to, putting the bat signal out there, move on to, taking the European clothes off and being your superwoman. I'm sorry about the comic history, but, step into your superhero, be a badass,
Totally.
All right, fist bump in the middle.
Woo! Yahoo! Yeah, love it.
Love you, listeners. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you very, very, very soon.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.